One is an incredibly powerful word. One community, one village, one group of people, one nation, but ultimately it's one planet.
P&O really wanted a family-orientated show. They wanted something that families would enjoy. And
you know, it's about our planet, it's about how we treat our planet, it's about the people we are on this planet.
treating each other better, kindness and love. And
yeah, let's take a look at this wonderful planet. Let's see some of the beauty of it, some of the joy that waking up on this planet gives so many of us every day.
The more we discussed the ideas, the more we realised we had a great concept for a show, something that really would resonate with kids and families. It's a really lovely group of creatives that have worked on this show. Graham Gillies from our office here, Graham who owns Grayboy. Graham has a really interesting take, a really interesting view on things.
I love his perspective, especially his ideas that he brings to the brainstorming sessions and the development phase of every new show.
Working with Philip Philo is an absolute joy.
Oh, who doesn't love Philip Philo's score? For the heart of this show to really touch audiences, you have to have a great score, and I think Phil delivers every time, but especially this show.
He gets all the joy, the fun, the quirky, the silly, but he also gets the depth of emotion. Phil sort of covers that whole spectrum, that whole range musically.
Kelly Abbey's come on board again as choreographer and director of the show, and Kelly is she's such a great creative.
I absolutely loved working with Kelly Abbey. I've been so fortunate to have known her my entire career.
I always love Kelly Abbey's choreography. I think we are so lucky to have her back again after she choreographed Let's Misbehave for us.
She certainly drills deep into every detail of whether it's lyric or note. And that was important for this show, for this narrative. You can't just stand alone. You can't be, director, choreographer, music person. You don't operate in silos. It was many, many days, hours of meeting together and just sitting around, literally sitting around on the floor or wherever we could in a room, being creative as we came back into this world and had a deadline.
Writing a show like this is always a challenge. The biggest challenges are always time constraints.
The limitation of knowing that you've only got 40 or 45 minutes to stage it.
A show like this has so many messages. We're trying to say so many things, and you have to be really clever and really particular about how many scenes you have in the show, how many things you're saying in the show.
You had enough time to properly run through that narrative and deliver all the little threads and by threads that make up that tapestry of story.
With a show that has so many important messages, we thought it was quite important to still keep the show light. And I think one of the ways we've achieved that, not just musically, we've also achieved that through the look of the show as well. So the show is very colourful. There are very colourful moments in the show, whether it's the polar party at the start with the costumes and the ice cap set, whether it is the wonderful jungle at the end of the show and all the colourful costumes and all the colourful screens that happen. We try and keep this show really colourful. So at the end of the day, visually, we end up with this wonderful, bright, colourful message. We work with Paula Ryan on this show. She is a wonderful costume designer.
The costumes in this production are fun. I think the colour pops, they're bold and they really work well.
We've never worked with Paula before, so it was a brand new thing for us to bring Paula on board as part of the creative team.
Great team she had around her from different parts of the world. We hooked up in Singapore, I think was the first time we met. We were rehearsing up there. We had plenty of video meetings leading up to and post that. And then we went through the whole process of those final technical rehearsals and installation on board.
There's so many bright and bubbly and colourful and wonderful costume concepts in this show. And Paula really just knew how to deliver those well.
Rehearsing a new show is always the best fun.
We all come together and collaborate at the start of the idea. We all hash out ideas together. And then more often than not, we all go back to our corners and we start working on our own things individually that help to sculpt these shows. Rehearsal is that time when we all come back together.
So you've got the choreographer, director, the graphics designer, costuming, lighting, And it's everyone doing their best work, working at full throttle 1,000% of the time.
You look at each other's work as we're putting it together in the room, and you start adjusting your own work at the same time, and that's quite exciting too. It's wonderful being inspired by everybody else. It's also fantastic to see those ideas start to happen. Because we worked on these stages before and we knew all the bells and whistles that came along with these stages, it was a really stress-free install period because we knew what we were doing.
I have to say, the technical crew on board the ships are just top-notch. They have to work around the clock and work so hard to get these shows up and running and on time.
The crews that work on ships generally in production, they're a wonderful, wonderful group of people. They're very, very talented people as well. Working alongside those people installing the shows is always a joy.
It's about when you collaborate with the right people, when you've got the right team behind you and around you. Collaboration is the key to great entertainment. I like the fact that we've touched on subjects that create a response from people.
What I love when I go in and watch this show when I'm on board is it's the kids that watch this show that really get it.
I just love the way this show's come together, from the amazing graphics, the costuming, the beautiful staging and direction. I love how the show sounds in the room.
A show that's full of beautiful messages. A show that ultimately is all about love. It's all about loving yourself. It's all about loving this planet. It's all about loving each other.
And who doesn't love a show about love?
If that's all you take away from this show, then you walked away with a really wonderful message.